Welcome to the Pure Bliss Metaverse podcast. I'd like to introduce you guys to Indira Kennedy, who is the founder and director of Conscious Leadership. She's the winner of the WEF Women of the Decade 2023 Economic Forum. That was received in the UK, I believe. She's the Silver Winner Leader of the Year Women Changing the World Awards, also in 2023. Global Award also received in Australia. So hi, Indira, welcome.
Hello, lovely to introduce me with all those awards that were very exciting and surprising at the time.
Yeah, and well deserved, I believe. You've been doing
Thank
amazing
you.
work. I believe you've dedicated your career to guiding impactful transformation, and you often speak about conscious self-leadership. How does mindfulness serve as the foundation for, let's say, leading oneself effectively, before perhaps trying to lead others?
Oh, that's so vital. And I've held many leadership roles myself, and I've learnt that sometimes the hard way. But it's been great to have the skill of mindfulness to really draw on because it gives you an ability. And let's just quickly talk about what mindfulness is from my
Yeah,
perspective. It's not only knowing how to calm the mind or how to be more peaceful. It's really being very alert to what is going on in my mind and is that being helpful? Is that really progressing us? And also the ability to then go beyond the mind and detach ourselves sufficiently to just witness what's going on and make choices then about how we want to respond. So it keeps us I think one of the real powers of mindfulness in self-leadership is that it prevents us, when we really cultivate it, from reacting all the time. And we become then drivers of our destiny and we're more responsive to what's truly going on. We can speak our truth. We can come with wisdom to the situation.
oh, that's beautiful. I mean, it's so important, isn't it? And I think more and more, say, corporate leaders are starting to realize this as well these days. You've written numerous books. Sorry, yeah.
No, no,
You've
I'm just
written,
agreeing. Yes.
yeah, perfect. You've written numerous books, and I believe you have the Still Minds, Wise Hearts series. I love that name, by the way. And one of these being the 8 elements for self-mastery. And that includes, say, practices like creative visualization, intention, mindfulness, meditation. What would you like to tell us about that book? What would be, say, for someone feeling overwhelmed by modern life, which of these elements do you think is the most critical starting point for self-healing?
Sure, thanks. Well, still mind, wise heart. As we probably haven't said that I'm also a spiritual medium. So a lot of my work comes from that wisdom within and that guidance that I receive. And the two books. So the first is The Five Realities of Conscious Self-Leadership. That became so large, I split it into two so we could then focus on the 8 elements, as you've just mentioned, which are the 8 elements of self-mastery. And they are practices. They're elements of us, they're elements of how we choose to behave and the things we can build into our lives to actually truly develop ourselves, especially at the spiritual intelligence level, which is where I focus, but bringing the physical, emotional, mental into balance. So when we do that, we can move into our spiritual aspects. They're our soul aspects. So for me, I think all 8 elements are crucial, and they do form a bit of a cycle that you can follow that takes you through what am I going to create in my world, manifesting if you like. But I think the first one, creative visualization, is the place to start because I'm noticing more and more in the corporate world and in people's lives generally. They seem to be a bit lost. They're just trying to deal with chaos. They've got a major change called AI, and they're not
Yes.
stopping to visualize for themselves, where do we want this to go? What do we really want from this? What would be the highest and best for everyone concerned, including myself? And so creative visualization is the beginning of anything. Everything in our world, somebody visualized at some point and created,
Yes,
moved to create it, and we've inherited that, which is wonderful. But we can do that ourselves, and we are doing it in every moment, actually. So, if you go to you're thinking about buying a pair of trainers, you'll be visualizing the trainers and you'll be
yeah,
visualizing where you're going to buy them. And we use visualization all the time, but I think we're deeply underestimating the real power of visualization. So in the book, in the Eight Elements, I do give the process for visualization
brilliant.
to
So
learn it
probably,
and take yourself through it and use it over and over
yeah, and doing it with intention, I
with
guess, rather
intent.
than by
Yes.
default. Yeah.
Yeah.
In your
Yeah, we
writings,
have
you,
a choice.
yeah,
We need to choose. We have a choice. We have free will. Spiritually, we have free will.
yeah.
So it's important to exercise that free will in a really responsible way.
Oh, yes, yeah, I love that. In your writings, you talk about how we battle with our inner critic in stressful moments. How can we use spiritual intelligence to quiet the noise and say, tune into our true, authentic voice?
I love that question. Thank you. Well, we don't have to have an inner critic. This is something a psychologist made up a few decades ago that we've landed on, and the corporate world talks about it all the time. And I think particularly women battle with this idea of having an inner critic, excuse me. And we do criticize ourselves. We can be really hard on ourselves and we can blame and shame and use all of the tactics that we've learnt through others in our life from a child. But when we come from a spiritual intelligence perspective, we know we are the self with the capital S. We are actually universal consciousness.
Yeah,
We are all powerful, all seeing, all knowing. So, my way of putting the inner critic aside or dissolving anything to do with bringing myself down is to remember my own greatness. And that's not coming from ego. There's a real strength in being able to say, I actually know that that's who I am. That is that is what makes up me. And I do
yeah,
have that divine spark in my heart. And I do have direct access to conscious intelligence. In fact, it's working through us in every moment. So there's a real sense of that's the spiritual strength, the spiritual warrior we need to become is not falling into ego, not falling into those stories, not listening too much to other people's stories about feeding that sense of the inner critic, and really not giving, just don't give it any energy. What we focus on is what we get. So
right. Yeah.
come back to self, come back to self, which is why I'm so strong on self-leadership.
I think that's so needed in the world at the moment. I think it's brilliant, and it's great that people have a place to go to even to say try it. If you've never tried it, it's quite
Yeah.
different, isn't it? Sometimes the results are extraordinary and counter what you've been programmed to believe. Mm.
Absolutely. And I was just thinking too, as you said that we've been taught, and especially as women, about self-worth and self-love. You don't love yourself enough. You don't have enough self-esteem. You don't have enough self-worth. The higher self does not think that way. That is all
Right.
ego still.
Yeah.
When we know we're great, we don't think that we're not worthy. But it's not even a question.
Yes.
There's no question about it. Are we deserving or are we deserving of love? We're able to stand in that very steady, quiet, assured presence of here is myself. And that is what authenticity is about,
Right.
which is thrown around the corporate world as well. Is
Yes.
must be our authentic self. That's how you get to be your authentic self.
Yeah. Would you agree with this that many entrepreneurs and leaders believe that they have to sacrifice their well-being to achieve success?
Yes, and that's a very masculine idea as well. Men love a challenge. They thrive on a challenge. It's the Mars, the male energy that has us using our will to go and make something happen. So it's very useful. And women
Mhm.
can have a very strong masculine energy that enables them to achieve a lot.
Yes.
But but on the whole, women tend not to need or want a challenge as such. They don't have to fight against something and slay the dragon. They don't
Yeah.
have to be on that horse and charging out there and going for the Holy Grail. But there is always some aspect of us that is looking to do that. So this sense of sacrifice, I think, has really, and we can fall into martyrdom and wanting to rescue people,
Yeah.
which I also feel is, I talk about the dysfunctional box. And in the dysfunctional box, we have the rescuer or martyr, we have the victim, the bully, and we have the seducer. And it's really important to know when you're being pulled into that box. But at this time in this century and where we are, and also I think where we are with our own consciousness developing so quickly at the moment, this idea of having to work hard for it and prove you're worth it and sacrifice yourself and your wife and your children and
Yeah.
your partners, exhaust yourself. I've seen plenty of nurses in the NHS thriving on the idea that they're exhausted because it
Yeah.
shows how giving they are. We have to sort that one out. And life is moving so fast that we don't have time for that anymore either. So we need to
Yeah.
be in our wisdom, responding, moving quickly, and staying very centered. And then we will be able to continue to bring that power through. There's endless energy available. We just need to know how to tap into that. And that's not exhausting ourselves physically.
Brilliant, brilliant. And you've had quite a bit of experience dealing with this corporate, let's say, leadership coming into this more spiritual self-care.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's underpinned everything I've done because for 36 years plus, I've been practicing yoga, the principles of yoga, the practices of yoga, and the philosophy, and also trained as a spiritual healer. I've done a lot of work around Jungian archetypes since I have a psychology degree. So I have brought all of that in around 2004 when I created Conscious Leadership as a business, and I really am a pioneer of conscious leadership. It's talked about quite a lot now, but it's taken 25 years
Yes.
to do it,
Yeah.
20 years. Um, over that time, yes, I've had plenty of opportunity to apply those principles and see the change that that brings and the energy that's released. And that's why I wrote the books as well.
Yeah.
They were coming through me after I'd been on a trip, but I could see I do have a formula, if you like. I have a framework that works over and over and over, that underpins everything that I do, even when I'm tailoring programs and coaching, etc.
Brilliant. And so in your experience as a coach, let's just say in general, not just in the corporate world, what is the most common emotional or mental block people need to heal from in order to step into, let's say, their essential presence and live their ideal life?
I was thinking about this only yesterday, actually, it is the fear of rejection. It absolutely is the fear of rejection. It could be, oh, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, I don't know enough. So a lack of confidence. Women are often told that they're not confident enough. But presence comes from that energy of knowing you are your deepest and highest self. So when you can bring space, I have a thing that I call the 5 S's. So when you can bring space, stillness, silence, and being the seer and using all your senses, your own natural, very charismatic presence comes forward because then you are in your full vibration, you're in
Yeah.
your full essence of who you are
Mm.
at that time. So
Yeah.
that's a long way from feeling fearful that you're going to be rejected. But I think that's the human condition. On the one hand, if I'm rejected, I will die because I'm not part of the group, I'm not part of the tribe, I'll be ousted, and therefore I can't survive on my own.
Yes.
But now we're at a time where we need to bring that strength and that sense of self forward to say, I know I can survive on my own, and therefore I can contribute a whole lot more and I can let a whole lot more in. We need to be standing in our individuality and our uniqueness and our power and allowing others to do the same.
Yeah.
So for me, a powerful team and a powerful leader is a powerful leader with a powerful team made up of powerful individuals. But if you are someone who needs to be in command and control because you're afraid of losing your own power, you
Yes.
will not run a team like that and you will not allow others to develop. So you've got to sort that out for yourself. Can you
Yeah.
handle other people being even more powerful than you? Can
Yes.
you handle others standing in their power? But when I've worked with teams on this, I have seen extraordinary energy released, and the respect that they have for each other is enormous. It's really wonderful to watch.
That's
So that's
brilliant.
actually, I think you've hit the nub of really what my work is about,
Oh,
is
good. That's great. Yeah.
bringing
That's
people to
fantastic.
that
I mean,
state.
if the world would be a different place, wouldn't it? If all the corporates and I think it's starting,
Yeah.
to whatever degree that it is, but I think it's just going to grow from here. So, I mean, that's brilliant, the work you're doing. Where can we find you and find information on you and find your books and say book a session?
So books are available on Amazon. So look for
Mhm.
the Still Mind, Wise Heart series.
Okay.
If Amazon's not great at picking up on that, just put in my name and you'll
Yeah,
find the two books. So that's what they look like, and you'll see the icons as well. That'll help you. My website is www.conscious-leaders.com.
brilliant. Okay,
So you'll find there almost everything that I've done and that I do, particularly the SQ Academy. If you're interested in going further with your own spiritual intelligence developments, I'm opening that up a lot more. And that's the Spiritual Intelligence Academy that I've
brilliant.
just created more formally. As I said, it's always underpinned my work. LinkedIn, of course, and I know you're going to put the links in under
All
the
of the
podcast.
links will be down below, so you can find Indira, and if you'd like to book a session with her, you'll be able to do that as well. You can actually still get one-to-ones with Indira. So, if you could leave our listeners with one actionable piece of advice to start their journey, say towards their conscious self leadership
Mm.
and their well-being, what would that be?
Be more mindful of what is happening for you. And when you find yourself having a strong emotion about something, note it, just note it. I do know, I've worked with a couple of guys who've carried a journal around with them and they just capture things, and that's a really good idea.
Okay.
So, and then take some time to to explore it and ask yourself questions about it. Don't get too involved with it emotionally, but just what is that about and how could I deal with that? Is that my ego? Is that my higher self? Am I in the dysfunctional box? And
Mm.
the other one would be meditate. Learn to meditate in some form or another. Use mindfulness to get there, but we'd have to still our mind. And
Yeah.
from a mental health perspective, we are going to find we will have more and more people with huge mental health issues because of the speed and the amount of information that's coming at us. So, the way to save ourselves and be in our super strengths
Yeah.
is to drop into our hearts, come out of the head, drop into the heart, focus on the breath, meditate, learn to spend at least 10
Yeah.
minutes and extend that time over time. But the first thing is always self-awareness,
Yeah.
and be kind to yourself while you're doing it.
Yeah.
It's all things, we're perfect in our imperfection.
Right, right. Yeah, that's such a beautiful reminder. Thank you for that. And yeah, meditation sometimes, I mean, it's about getting into a slightly deeper state, isn't it?
Yes.
Doesn't even have to be. you don't have to be perfect at it to do it.
No, no, there's a lot of myths around what meditation is, and it isn't not thinking. The thoughts are fine. The important thing
Yeah.
is that you're not paying attention to those and you're focusing somewhere else. You're focusing on, when you focus on your own essence and your own higher vibration, which is really what's happening when you focus on your heart, that
Mm.
is what will be cultivated and that's what will open
Nice.
up. So it hasn't
Yeah.
gone anywhere, it's in there.
Yeah.
You are already that. So it's a really beautiful practice and it's so healing. It's so reassuring as well. So I mean, for me, it's a daily thing in some form or another. But we have to drop our brain waves. And at the moment we're asking them to be too fast and too jagged. And that is really unsettling for our whole system, nervous
Yeah.
system, emotional system,
Yeah.
everything. We are in danger of being far more unwell because of the way we're living now.
Right.
And we
Right.
we have a very simple answer. So once again, those 8 elements, any one of those, you don't have to do all eight, but if you learn to use them, you've got 8 tools that you can draw on at any one time
Yeah.
and
Okay.
decide what is it I really need to do right now. And
Beautiful.
you'll
I
feel
love
more
that.
masterful, feel more in control.
Wow. Indira, thank you so much for your time and your insights today.
Pleasure.
And yeah, I wish you the absolute very best. We will see you again, no doubt, somewhere in the world. You're based in the UK right now. Yeah.
I am. I'm in London.
Yeah.
I've been here for
Okay.
11 years now, but an Australian, as you can hear. Proud
Another
Aussie.
Aussie. Yeah.
Another Aussie. Yes,
Yay.
yes. Get
So
around.
thank you. And again, all of the details, all of the links are down below. And yeah, please send Indira a little email and a message and tell her if you loved her book. That would be great, or book a
Absolutely.
session. Yeah.
Really happy to have a
Yeah.
chat. No obligation.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much, Cheryl Ann.
Thank
It's
you.
been great. Thank you.
Been amazing. Thank you. Take care.
Bye.